Yeah, because I was going to say it's really interesting. I dropped my phone in the beach water a few times,
Oh,
and I can hear fine on headphones. It's 100% pristine and clear.
right.
Yeah, and then but when I have it on speaker, it's like you guys are like, and I was like, I can't do this.
I want to
I,
welcome a new caller, Dee Dee, Marilyn, Mally,
Yeah, hi.
Dee Dee.
Hi, Dee Dee.
Hi.
Can
How
we?
are you?
I think her microphone may be not on. Can you?
Okay. Okay.
Sheila's coming in as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Dee Dee, can you hear us? Okay. Okay.
Maybe not as yet.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna. Okay. Well, Dee Dee, we're waiting for you and welcome. Thank you so much for chiming in. Is Sheila on yet?
Yes,
Um,
hooray.
Hey, baby girl, how you doing?
You looking good, girl.
Thank you. Hey, I'm springing forth in the spring. This is a spring thing here.
Well, spring.
And yes, we're getting ready to rise and shine into a new season. And we're going to leave all this that shouldn't be coming into this new season where it is and things that need to continue. We're going to let it, I'm going to say, bloom, blossom, and begin to give birth to new life.
Yes, we are, girl. You look like younger, okay?
And listen, I don't know what's going on.
Tamika just came in.
Huh?
Tamika
Who?
just came
Tamika.
in.
Hi.
Hey, Tamika.
No, Tamika.
Hi.
Tamika.
Okay, hey, that's what okay, I'm sorry. Hey,
How's everyone?
Great.
we're just
Great.
winning.
Yeah.
Sorry for being late. I was
Mm-mm.
just finishing up with in the kitchen.
You right on time. You right on time because you know what? I was looking at the time and I said, spring is not everybody's thing when you want to talk about seasons. And I said, that's okay, but we're gonna do this spring thing anyway. And I literally was gonna tell her, I said, okay, well go ahead and put the PowerPoint up and let's just get started. Um, and I thank you so much for being here, really. And thank you so much, Tamika and Sheila and Marilyn. And is Dee Dee, are you there now, Dee Dee?
Can you send a message in chat and see if she can see it? If she can't hear you, maybe she can see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Dee Dee your friend? Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Okay, I can take it at. I can do the chat.
Okay, oh, I'm in there now.
Oh, you got it?
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right, there we go.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, first of all, I just want to ask how everybody is doing today. Sheila, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. I just came from the dentist, so my mouth is a little puffy.
Well, I'm glad that you still felt well enough to be here this evening. So thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. I really, really do. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you as well.
And what about you, Miss Tamika? How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. And I was going to say, in Maryland, we know Maryland. Maryland, I have to tell you, Maryland she just came out of a class. And Maryland, do you think you can just kind of give a snippet of what the class is about? Because I think it's really interesting and maybe something
Sure.
that people want to know more about.
Okay. Well, it's called, the program is approximately 5 weeks for this particular program, and it's the topic is restorative approaches. And what it is training people to communicate. And the first means of communication is to listen, because the majority of us have been trained to listen, but with the intention of responding either verbally or with actions. So we listen. However, when somebody's speaking to us, they may not feel they're being heard because we are saying something right after what they say, instead of just listening, taking it in, and repeating back to them what you think they said, what their intention was. This program was adopted for warring factions, with gangs, with prisons. It was taken to Africa in a very big program where people were actually killing each other, and they took it to the councils and they taught this to those people, and they stopped hurting each other, and they now have a more respectful communication. And this is also done in the prisons, especially where you have different gangs, where they were justifying the actions they were taking against each other, to find out how similar they were, and to repeat back to them when they made a statement, so that they could feel that they were being heard and respected. Then, according to the environment they were in, if there was to be a communication, a response, you can acknowledge that. And there are premises for how you respond and what you start with. So very large part of it is respect and honor. And let's see if I can bring it up here. Anyway, the program is being implemented at the Urban Voices Project because we work with the homeless. We're in the homeless community, and we want the people who are there, a lot of them are wounded, and they are triggered by communication. So in order for them to really get that they're being heard and that we're looking for a way to acknowledge what they're saying, then if they want a solution, then we can offer a solution. If they just want to be heard, we just listen.
Yeah,
it's a very, very powerful program. So yes, I just started the 5 weeks. I was the facilitator today.
And it sounds like it. No, I just, it's so beautiful. I just wanted you to highlight that because I think, you know, I could speak for myself. I don't want to project me onto anybody else that's listening in on this conversation, but I think a lot of times we have tendencies to do that, even unknowingly, and not necessarily wanting to offend or not necessarily hear the other person. You've already made up your mind. This is what you're going to say. And just being patient and not saying anything. Like that's one of the things, nuggets that I got from it, and just being listening. So I just wanted to thank you because even in this platform, you know, we're expressing ourselves, and sometimes it's about just being heard and not necessarily to come back with any thought. And then I guess being able to recognize that, or maybe ask people, would you like my thoughts on that? I have a thought. Can I share? You know, asking permission rather than just saying, bing, you know, this is the solution for you. And it's like, I didn't ask you that.
Right. You know? And I have heard that in the different presentations you've had where people will just say things, and I've kept my mouth shut at times, because if I addressed it the way I felt it, it could start a conflict. And that was not ever my intention.
I understand. I understand. And that's great. And maybe like going forward, that's what kind of maybe a rule of thumb, being heard and then asking rather than just projecting. So thank you. I just wanted you to share about that because I think that's such an important piece of conversation of just not just this platform, just getting along with people that you live with, that that you deal with in your reality, in your world. So thank you. I just wanted you to say something about that.
Yeah, it's a great tool, and the example I was giving is that I want to learn these tools so that I'm prepared, whether it's an arena I know I'm going to go into or something that just may come up, that I'm not reactive, because I'm going to have a family gathering on Saturday with people who have issue with me and I have issue with them, and I'm prepared not to say anything and to just listen.
Hey, that's growth.
That's a lot of
See,
growth.
you're starting the spring already doing a new thing. Because that's great. Really. Thank you so much. I just want to ask Dee Dee, can you hear us? Okay. I'm gonna assume that maybe you can. I hope you're able to. And without
Let's see.
huh?
Okay. I'm going to try.
I don't see her anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to see. I think she dropped off.
Okay. And I was gonna say, okay, well, I was
Yeah,
gonna say, huh?
yeah, she dropped off.
She dropped out. Okay, well and then at this point now, I would like to move forward and just welcome you guys. And again, from my heart, I just want to thank you so much for being here, just to talk a little bit about the spring and springing forth and giving birth to new life. Just so you know, this is, one of the things that I'm really passionate about, which is aligning, my life, our life, right? Our life, with the times of the seasons. Huh?
I just said intricately woven.
Okay. Say that again.
Intricately woven.
Okay, I got it. I hear you now. I was going to say, yes, intricately woven, into the fabric of, us governing our life in different ways. And I'll say that, this is kind of a plight of life that I've been on this journey for quite some time. But
that music too loud, y'all.
It is for me because I can't really hear you very well.
Well, okay, I'm not going to be doing the presentation. I'm just no. If you can hit it, because this Jaleesa on this presentation, I'm in the back. I'm running in the back. I'm doing eyes.
Okay, but turn it down a little bit because I hear it a little bit too much.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah. I don't mind, but I just, but at the same time, I'm just, okay. So yeah, so I was saying that I've, been on this journey for quite some time, and I can't say that I align so perfectly everything that I've done throughout each season, but each year, each season, it's gotten refined and refined and refined. And I would like to say that I really, really, I want to say dive deep for this winter season that passed. I did a lot of inner work and I rested a lot. And I don't know if any of you align with the seasons or do hibernation or do a lot of deep inner work or work on projects during the winter time. Is that something that anyone here does or recognizes for their life?
I feel that my body as a mammal wants to do a hibernating process. Mm-hmm. And it starts about September, October. Mm-hmm. For me, I've had to be careful about what I eat because it has a tendency, my body consciousness has a tendency to want to eat and store fat. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. So I am cognizant of certain things that happen for me. I want to sleep in more. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I like being warm and fuzzy and cozy. I use electric blankets with my electric pad. Yeah, there's different things that happen for me.
So you sound like the mama bear And I was going to say, and that's exactly, what happens. And even though like we're here in Los Angeles and we don't necessarily get the snow and the ultra cold, weather that other people do, but it's there. And and it gets dark earlier because of the time change. And essentially even during the time of winter, like you're kind of going in the darkness, and it's like a gestation period is going forth, where whatever it is that you're contemplating, whatever it is that you're doing, it's in the womb of your creation. And by the time spring comes, it should come forth and see that budding, or the sap running from the tree, or the buds, or the blooms or blossoms from whatever it was that was happening during the winter season. You can see that out in nature, as it really resonates very much. And even today, when I went out to feed the cat, I looked outside and it's like, oh my gosh, we had so much rain for a few days. And you could just see how all of a sudden there's like an instant garden, like things that we didn't plant, have sprung forth, and new life is back there. And like the jade plant is like double the size. All of a sudden I'm like, when did this happen? When did this happen? So anyway, so thank you so much for just sharing that, because it's just such a real thing. I do think a lot of time we're not aligned or attuned to it. So we notice these little things, but we don't really put much thought into it. Anybody else have any type of like notice what you notice during the winter time, like how you feel, or it's just another day? Okay. Well, anyways, without further delay, let's spring forth. And this is giving birth to new life, Connecting the Dots Conscious community. And what we do here is just talk about things that consciously, I want to say, affect our life, that are means to transform our life. And just really being aware of having conversations with like-minded people, so that way we know that we're not actually in our own bubble, that there are other people that think like us and are treading upon being more divine, I want to say, rather than human, if you will. And really just I want to say embracing and embodying our divine nature. And I think a lot of times what gets missed, that a lot of people live in their head, and or in more in their feeling world, in their heart, and not really rooted to nature and the cosmology of actually what's going on around us. And now that we're such virtual beings, connecting virtually, and all this, everything's press a button and swipe, sometimes you kind of lose touch with, I want to say, with nature. And so, like I said, this is something I've been really passionate about. Just wanted to share a few highlights and bring some things to you that maybe you haven't thought about. And so here we go. You can go to the next slide.
Okay. Before I go to the next slide, I'd like to welcome Brother Charles Porter. He just chimed in.
Hey, Brother Charles.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Oh my gosh. Peace and blessings.
I saw it on the on Facebook. I said, oh, let me swing through. Hope
I'm
everybody's
so glad.
doing well.
Ashe. Hey, thank you.
I'm driving though,
so okay, just listen.
All right, I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
We were just getting to the first slide.
Yeah.
Good to be here. Great.
Right. So,
okay. Okay, so hold on a second. Okay, seasons in review. I was going to say, can someone volunteer and read just what it says on the side where it says seasons in review? Because I'm gonna put up my laptop so I can see better.
Do you want me to do that?
Sure, thank you.
Okay, the seasons in review.
Yes.
Autumn is a time to plant your seeds. Mm-hmm. Winter is a time for the gestation of your seeds. Spring is a time that new life bursts forth from your seeds. And summer is a time of the harvesting of your seeds.
Yes. And that was kind of a little bit what I was mentioning about wintertime is, the time is for more of the gestation of the seeds. But before I even highlight that again, just going back to, autumn being a time to plant the seeds. And essentially, according to nature, autumn is kind of like the beginning of the year, a beginning of a new cycle of a new year, even though we think of the year as being in January 1st, which is actually during the winter season, which is not the beginning of a nature cycle of a new year. So in some ways, we already know that a lot of us have opinions about the Gregorian calendar and how everything is set up, but you still have the sovereignty to align your life in the way in which you desire. And if you want to align with the cosmology of this planet and this particular hemisphere of the earth, you can do that by planting your seeds. And yes, you can plant seeds in a garden, but essentially I'm referencing the garden of your life. New ideas, new projects, just a kind of like a new beginning, and saying, instead of saying Happy New Year, you could say, Happy Autumn New Year, if you will. And, plant the seeds of your intentions to begin doing whatever is new in your life. And then once we shift off into winter, where things are actually supposed to slow down. And although generally there'll be a lot of celebrations and people shopping and doing a whole lot of stuff, and it's all beautiful, but actually that's a time that you're supposed to go dive deep within yourself and do your healing work, do more deeper contemplation and meditation, and more of your sacred work. If you're an artist, if you just like to read, and just kind of like you said, that cloistering in and kind of being warm and being quiet and just really listening. And so that way, that whatever it is that you're working through in the winter season, by the time the spring starts to rise, which begins on Saturday the 20th, you should start seeing a shift. And I'm pretty sure you feel it just because there's more sunlight now, because the time has changed and you're coming out of that darkness, coming into the light. Okay. And then you're supposed to rise and, rise and shine, and like, okay, yeah, now I'm ready to do this. Now I feel like I have more time to do X, Y, and Z. So there hopefully should be a feeling, even if you didn't have anything specific that you may have done in the wintertime, but just a feeling of new life and new beginning in the spring. And then summer is a time of harvesting the seed. So at that point, you see that all the beautiful fruits come out. It's actually a culmination during the summertime because the sun is reaching its highest peak. Okay. And you have longer days and shorter nights leading up into the summer. So from here on out, you'll start noticing that each day there's more and more sunlight, and it's like it's 7:30 and it's still light. It's 8 o'clock and it's still light. And by the time we reach summer, it'll be like almost 9 o'clock, and you'll notice that there's still light. But in the spring season, there's Oh, I thought someone said something.
Very well said. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. And so during the springtime, there's equal days and equal nights. So there's 12 hours of sunlight and there's 12 hours of night. So, and hey, enjoy these longer days. So does anybody like align with the seasons at all, or notice anything like just in general, or do you understand what I'm saying? Does it make sense to you? Does it resonate?
My energy starts getting more as the spring, the time change.
Mm-hmm.
I can do more. The D3, the sunlight into my eyes, gives me more energy.
Yes. Actually, I stood outside today when I went outside, and I was like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. I just wanted to stay, but I had to come back in because it was getting close to time to start.
I remember when I was in elementary, we used to do a thing around the equinox where I guess it was related to what they were teaching us about science. With they would take an egg and they said, during the equinox you can sit an egg and it will sit straight up. And I remember doing that as a kid, and it was like everybody would try to balance the egg for it to sit straight up. But that always stood with me, just like how the shifts of the shift in seasons, like how it affects nature. And so that always was like a frame of reference in my mind, like equinox is balance and equilibrium, but it also implies the movements and shifts, and so.
Wow, that's cool about the egg. I didn't listen. I don't know what school you went to. I didn't get to do that one, but that's cool. I like that. I like that. Yes. Okay. You can go to the next slide.
Okay. Want to read the other half, or?
Well, actually, I was just saying. I just had the picture there, just saying that the day is 12 days of sunlight and 12 days of night. Okay. And basically, spring is a time of new beginnings. Okay. And so, as you'll even notice in a lot of different religious traditions, like this is a time of resurrection, renewal, and new beginnings. And so I just had to, when I saw this little image, I had to bring it out because it was just so bright and beautiful. And I just really wanted you to feel and kind of take in that this is a time of new beginnings. and just embrace it. I can't hear you.
No, I think that's just the feedback. Everything is good.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so this picture was just to brighten it up, and I couldn't resist it. And I just wanted to just emphasize to think of the season of spring as a time of new beginnings. So you can go to the next slide. Okay. Can you read this for me, Ray? Winter reflections, spring projections.
Winter reflections, spring rejections. No, projections.
Yeah. Yes.
I was kind of making a joke. Anyway, they're trying to be funny. Trying to be funny. Okay, winter energies are used to stimulate introspection, deep work, and the hibernation of hibernation to inspire a desire for deeper meditation, silence, forgiving, love, dedication to your sacred work, and continue to genuinely pursue your personal development and evolution. Okay. Spring energies are used to give a greater expression of your personal creation and exploration. Initiate new order and new beginnings to facilitate change and reveal what's been cultivated in the darkness of the winter seasons. What
Yeah.
I want to explain what I felt when I read.
Okay.
I felt that there's a cycle being processed. There's a movement. There's divine wisdom behind something that's going on here in this process. That
Yes.
it goes that way. It fits. Okay,
Yes.
bloom. Okay, bloom where you're planted.
Yes.
Okay.
Bloom where you're planted.
Let me express that. Bloom where you're
Okay.
planted.
Okay.
That means a whole lot given to a lot what's going on today and where I'm at now. Bloom where you're planted. And I take it like this. I have something to say about where I want to be planted at. Right? Off the bat. I'm like, wait a minute. I got to know where I'm going to be planted at, how I'm going to do this, and how it's going to work. And in that, it's all consciousness. So I'm gonna make this conscious barrier around me, extend 50 feet in a circular motion that's live, that's beautiful, that's developing, that's constantly pursuing other and better things collectively. So I'm a bloom in that. And I hold that in my head a lot. So because it goes back to one of I think it was what book was that? It was Rich and Go as a rich man thinkers or doeth or whatever. He said, "You are what you think of." Like that's just real simple science. You are what you think of most of the time. Then I heard another person express it that your God is what you think of all the time. But it makes a lot of sense if it's a holographic universe and everything is a projection from somewhere, and our brain is in darkness. We got these senses seeing what's going on around us. So what is real? Everything is a hologram. So what do we where are we going to focus our attention at in this multi-dimensional world? Because we're multi-dimensional beings. If you really want to look at it, it's a lot more than here that's been expressed and what's being said before us. I just to it's like a bam right in your face right now. You're looking at things from a whole different perspective, and individual, because of self-awareness, you see this, and then you think about, what about the ones who don't? Is everybody prepped to have this experience or to have this self-realization? And not only that, what is the government doing about this? We ain't gonna even get into that. So we kind of like in a society that's just screwing us crazily. And we got to fend for ourselves. And I feel the best we can fend for ourselves is going to ancient spiritual technology within ourselves.
Yes.
You know, and that's in a completely harmonious and holistic way.
Yes.
You know, that's clean, free energy type of sense, you know, because therefore we getting higher thoughts from higher things. We don't want to do none of this old stuff that we used to do. You know, there's a whole lot of things changes when you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at it from a whole different perspective. And this little nature picture just marks it up into a cycle. You know, now that you know now you do better.
Yeah.
That's my rant for this first
That
round.
is not no rant. No, that is not no rant at all. Does anyone else have any thoughts about the concept of blooming where you're planted? Okay. Well, I'll just say that part of the reason why I actually selected this particular image, because some people will say, "Oh, well, I didn't really, do much the winter. I slept a lot, or whatever, or I wasn't aware, or I didn't care." It doesn't matter. The whole point is wherever you may find yourself, just if you're determined and you want to, you can just decree that it is so, that you're going to bloom where you're planted and just take your life to the next level based on where you're at today and continue and not look back. So when I saw that, that's, you know, and no matter what the conditions might be that you may be living in or around, and even everything that's going on, there's still a lot of rich, fertile soil to really create anything you choose. And so
Yep.
that's kind of where I stand, today, you know, in a very, very raw, but I want to say very fertile place in life. How do you redefine yourself, in this time and be tenacious about yourself and not really looking at the world around us or people that we may not even necessarily want around us to be the foretellers of what our future looks like. So I just feel that you have to almost be willing to just say, I'm going to take my sacred sojourn, in this season, and not so much just about spring, of just in the time of COVID and a new presidency and just this new world, because the world that we lived in doesn't exist anymore.
That
And
reminds me of the saying when people talk about believing that the grass is greener on the other side. It reminds me of that too, like that what you have has value. A lot of times people that want to measure themselves based on other people or where they think they should be. And I think that's the power of that bloom where you are planted is like, make what you have is what you have and be the most and do the most and live it to the fullest. I think but it reminds me of that saying too.
I just wanted to say too, like where it says bloom where you're planted, it's just a reminder that you really can't just be all over the place trying to do so many things if you're going to try to focus on achieving something that, is your goal or your purpose, you know what I mean? And that's really what that, stands out to me. It's just to be rooted and planted where you are and be thankful and don't, like the brother said, don't compare yourself or your growth or what you're doing to nobody else because everything moves on its own time.
I shaved. I wish Ray had the bell because I'll tell you something. That was really that was really the truth, Sheila. And I thank you for just emphasizing that and not really being unhappy where you are, but being grateful and working from where you're at. That is so true. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because sometimes not to be so long, sometimes I'll find myself trying to be like, oh man, you didn't do this, fast enough or soon enough. And then I have to remind myself, just flow. Sometimes if I'm not doing something so fast, maybe it is just time to just be still in where I'm at and just rest a minute and then get back on it, like it's all
Hmm.
good.
It's all good. It's all good. Just to say, today I am going to bloom where I'm planted,
I
and I'm going to come to full harvest. So that way, and finish that process, because it shall come to pass.
Yes.
That fruit is going to come forth. It shall come to pass. If you stand at your ground and stay at your post, you know that that life has to come forth. It's just I know that this is the fact. And thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
Does
Ashe.
anyone else have any thoughts about Bloom, where you're planted, and how it resonated with you?
Um, well, I really love what Sheila said, and I also want to add that blooming where we're planted, meaning our to not get distracted and led off guard or manipulated into secondary agendas, to stay the course of what really, really matters to you. And I know I personally experienced that with being involved in certain uh, landmark forum and other stuff like that. But that experience taught me to really use my voice and to just be bold to say no. And I don't owe you an explanation for nothing. And this is not a part of my program. C'est la vie.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing, right? I'm just because I can feel you on that. Yes. And we're going to continue blooming where we're planted in this moment, and staying on the course, because we all have a divine blueprint of something we're supposed to be doing. I don't care who you are, but there's something we all have. I don't care what degree you got, what degree you don't got, where you live, how much money you have. There's something that is so far deeper than the external. And if we could just stay in that place that will bring us prosperity in every area of our life, we would, gosh, we'd be on the mountaintop right now having this conversation. And in a whole nother, I'll say not reality, but just in a whole nother frequency. And that's what we're working towards. And that's really the purpose in this. Okay, so thank you, Tamika, for saying that, because I don't want to get off track into other people's program either. And I have found myself getting interwoven into the fabric of other people's things that don't really have anything to do with me. And then now, 6 months later, oh gosh, if I had just spent that time that I was delving into that, this could have been done. And now I'm 6 months behind, and I don't feel like being bothered because it's winter and I'm sleepy. I don't want to do anything. So anyway, I just want to say that. So thank you so much. Okay, the next slide. Okay.
An overview of spring offerings.
Yes.
The sun.
Are you gonna?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I thought I was gonna say good. I'm glad you're gonna read it.
But
Okay.
let everyone take a chance to read it.
Tamika, can you read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
An overview of spring offerings. The sun moves out of Pisces. Winter equals water feminine and moves into Aries. Spring equals fire masculine. Time to balance the masculine and feminine within us. Blend both to create new life. Time of rebirth and new beginnings, creation and expression of the new, resurrection. Time to initiate new endeavors or take current ones to the next level. Time to burn out the old murkiness or dross so that the seeds of your intentions can have the room to sprout. Time to invoke energies that will assist you in igniting change and accelerate your growth. The sun shines longer each day, leading to summer. Time to roll away the stones of old narratives and limitations and bring forth your inner light into the outer world. Brief overview of the spring from Alina Live.
Yes, Alina Live, and then
Video?
yeah, I have a video I want to go to, but before we go to the video, I just want to quickly give a little bit of just supporting thought on these bullet points. I just wanted to bring to you some highlights of the spring, just for a framework of understanding it, being more than you see in beautiful flowers, blossoming. The first thing about the sun moving out of Pisces into Aries. And so during the winter time, winter is reflective of the water element, which is a feminine. Okay. And as it moves into Aries, which is where we're at now, it's the masculine, which is fire. So the springtime is actually a time of when the water and the fire come together, the masculine and the feminine, to bring forth balance. And so you'll see that reflected in nature. And as you attune more into it, you'll start noticing within your, even within yourself. And by blending both the masculine and feminine, we know what happens is that a child is born or new life is formed. So we want to bring that masculine and feminine energy together. So by the time the summer comes, you'll actually be giving birth to that holy child or something great. If you're actually working in, I want to say, in alignment with nature on your projects, on your inner work. Also, we know that this is a time of rebirth, new beginnings. I just put resurrection because a lot of, obviously, different religious traditions talk about renewal, resurrection, rebirth, new day, new beginning. And I feel that any day of the season is a time to start a new project or endeavor. But I feel like just getting a restart, and sometimes you don't know when to start. So I feel like these seasons and even beginnings of the month and moon cycles are kind of like portals or openings for you to kind of start anew in rhythm with the energies that run our universe. And so it's a great time to start new projects and not, like I said, take your new ones to your current ones to the next level. And also too, whatever happened, just saying during the winter time, last week, anytime prior that's been heavy on you, that you've been carrying with you for a long time, rather than taking it into the new season, is a great time to sit down and say, I'm going to forgive X, Y, and Z, or I'm going to cross this person off my list and, rid this person out of my life or this habit. So that way, because it's hard when you're carrying a lot of murk and dross in your emotions and your feeling world, it's really hard to produce anything that's, I'm going to say, that represents the greater aspect of you, because your emotions and, in your feeling world stop you from really pushing forward and giving all yourself to what it is that you're trying to get to, whatever that might be. And I'll just say there's always energies around us that aid us in accelerating our growth and transformation, if you attune to it. I'll just say that. And because the days get longer, there's a sense of, you feel like you have more time, more energy. And so that was why I just wanted to say that, from now leading up to summer, each day is going to be brighter and brighter. It may just give you the drive to do a little bit more or focus a little bit more on where you're trying to go. And really, since this is a time of new beginnings, it's a new season, to let those old narratives die. Leave them where they are, write about them, put them in a journal, and lock that up and create a new narrative going forward. And then that way, by living in that, no matter what you did, even if you did it to someone, I feel like just forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and kind of stepping into a new narrative, will give you the opportunity to be all you are in the moment going forward, not looking back. And some people were going to already have a notion or a belief about who they say you are. Let them carry that old baggage. It's not yours to carry, and it's not to try to convince anybody, but to just be your higher self and not think about the old, but just integrate yourself into the new. And so I just wanted to say that, because these are the kind of the key elements of what happens during this season. And so that's why I just wanted to kind of bring it out, so that, if you weren't aware, that it would just kind of expand your perspective about this time of year, and giving yourself a reset and a new narrative. Heck, you can change your name if you want to. But anyway, does anyone have any thoughts or questions?
I had a comment. I was thinking earlier about just like your life experiences and like some of the symbolism that you use. I think about like my upbringing, because I'm originally from New Jersey, and I don't think everyone really experiences the seasons, like depending on where you live. I think and I grew up in the forest, so it's really powerful when you see everything in the forest looks dead in the wintertime. All of the leaves disappear. There's no, except for evergreens and holly, you know, the other trees are completely barren. And it's a really powerful image to see life spring forth and start to spring forth in the spring. Like, that is really moving. You know, as a child, it was just like, it was there, but everyone doesn't get to see that. But that's a really powerful symbolism when you actually see life coming from springing up from the ground, or just like trees that look like they were dead. Then, you know, as the spring comes and in the summer, they're full of you know, life. That's powerful.
Charles, I'd like to ask you, how powerful is it when you adapt this symbolism to the way of life, to your way of life? How powerful is that?
But I bring it up to say I can relate to it more when I've seen it. You know, that's why I highlight that. But no, it is, and to know that it's part of a reality that was there before us, that don't need us. It don't need us to do what it does, and you know. But it's beautiful to be in alignment and to be in harmony with it, and to take that understand those cycles. Yeah, that is powerful, and to internalize it.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, because, and even though, especially out here in LA, it's really hard to, you know, see it, because everything's like 70, 70, 70, and then we spike up and, you know, a little bit down. But even around us, it's present. When you attune to it, you really begin to see, you know, oh, look at that tree, all the leaves are gone, they're falling down, or all the mess on the street, you know. And it's just like, yeah. And that was one of my fascinations. I want to say that when I really started getting into this, you know, it's really made a big difference in my life. And I can tell you right now, and Sheila, are you still here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm laughing because you were saying, "Ooh, you look younger." Yeah, because I've been in all winter. I haven't been running around. I've been doing so much stuff. So really, you're seeing the nature. I'm just referencing what you're saying, Charles. See, I was looking dead, and she was like, "Oh, you look great. You look younger." And I was like, "Yeah, because I've been in winter now. I'm springing out."
Right.
So I'm just saying that, you know. And I really did it this time, but a lot of times I wouldn't get into it. Like, I would kind of start with it, but not finish. But I'm gonna tell you something. I have almost completed this cycle, and when it comes tomorrow is the last day, you know, leading up to Saturday, and I'm gonna really work through this season of spring, really, and I'm seeing how it really works, and it's changing my life on a whole nother scale. And so, thank you for saying that, because that's you see the picture. Thank you. That's all I want to say. Thank you. Oh, and the video, Ray, and I want you guys to see this video. It's a sister that I found recently. Her name is Alina Alive, and she does these really great videos, and she's into astrology and a lot of other little things that she highlights. But I thought this was a great, perfect overview of spring, and it kind of brings everything together of what we've said so far. So can you click on the video? Boo?
When you put the videos on, I kind of have to really make myself focus, because it's not the same.
Okay.
I feel your heart. I feel your voices.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet.
I feel your spirit. But when I watch videos, it just doesn't do a whole lot for me. Okay, you guys are so much more inspirational, radiant than the videos.
Well, you know what? Thank you for saying that, Marilyn. And really, I was going to say, in this case, I was sharing that just to come from a different perspective and not just my own. And I know a lot of people are not necessarily haven't aligned with nature, or don't really understand a lot about it, or may not even care to even know more about it. And that's okay. And it was just saying, you know, there's really a lot more going on if you attune to it. And this beautiful image here, I just couldn't resist, because it's a picture of the water and the fire coming into balance. And, you know, I just wanted this beautiful, you know, picture just to come into your eyes, to think about this is what's really happening on Earth on right now, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, because in the Southern Hemisphere, it's actually autumn for them, like where Australia is. And so, but that polarity of opposites, it's it's always happening. And I just feel like the more I go deeper, just say as an individual in my personal path, aligning with nature, I feel like is accentuating me to really align with all of my divinity and not just parts of it. And so this picture to me was just like, yes, this is, this is where you're going. And I just had to share this image with you guys. And so I have
Beautiful.
it. Thank you. Yeah. So this is the water and the fire coming into balance for the spring season. So it's really a symbol. And if you think about uh, like the in Gemini, like once we get into Gemini season, like the twins and the two coming together. So this is very interesting. It's very symbolic, and it just really made me realize how much everything is so divinely knitted and orchestrated that it's absolutely perfect. So it's just a matter of understanding it more and applying it. So I'll leave it there. And the next
Yeah.
slide. Okay, there's just a couple more slides I have here. And this one here is about an angelic and astrological forecast. And just so you know, I got this particular overview from a phenomenal brother teacher who is now an ancestor named Ted Andrews. And what he does in his book called Nature Speak is he gives you an angelic and astrological forecast for the season. And so these particular bullet points are based upon his writings. And I just really paraphrase what the message is. And the angel of that's the governor of the season, apparently, according to his mind or school of thought, is Archangel Raphael, which God has healed. And Archangel Raphael is the governor of the season of spring. He instructs healing through nature, linking the heart and mind towards the healing process and taking more conscious control of our evolution. And if you really think about it symbolically from a standpoint of nature and what happens, like we were just talking about how you see everything budding and blooming and blossoming, and whatever needed to happen during that gestation period within the winter time, within the womb of life, now you're seeing the burst of this new life come forth. And I want to say healing. And as we are in Aries, like angels in Aries, which is the beginning of the spring, it stimulates a call to great overcoming, self-sacrifice, transmutation, and evolving to move forward in the plan of the divine, merging self-control and wisdom. And I don't know if that makes sense, but I want to read it again, that during the time of Aries, which is the beginning of the spring, it stimulates a call to great overcoming. As you know, it's like a lot of people want to have renewals and whether you're whatever path you come from, a lot of times you'll see people wanting to start again, begin anew. So that great call of, or the great overcoming yourself, self-sacrifice, transmutation, and evolving to move forward in the divine plan for your life and merging your self-control and wisdom, meaning that I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but I just feel like as you merge your ability to make wise decisions and to stay disciplined with certain things with the wisdom, you know, I feel like that really automatically aligns you more with the divine plan for your life, where you're not struggling. As the angels move into the Taurus, which is like towards the middle of spring, it stimulates opportunities for change and new expression of our abilities, overcoming selfish desires, awakening higher inspiration, developing discernment and control on how we use our own light. And towards the end of spring, we get into Gemini, and the angels of Gemini, which I wrote Angelus. I don't know what I was thinking about, but hold on one second. I'm sorry.
There are angels out here.
Okay, yeah, the Angelus in Gemini, the angels in Gemini at the end of spring stimulates the awakening of the polarities that are part of the natural world. They help equalize the masculine and feminine so they can be united to create new life. And as I was saying earlier in this, when I started talking about the two coming together, and then like I said, when the summer gets here, you give birth to that holy child, and it can, and it's not a literal sense of just a birthing of a being or human being, if you will, but really, birthing something that you've been working through to the harvest time. So now it's like, here's the fruit on the tree. It's no longer the buds and the blossoms. Now the fruit's there. Whatever it is that you have been working on through the year, by the time you reach summer, excuse me, it should be like a culmination of giving birth to new life. So, does anyone have any thoughts about this process and just what happens in nature in these months as it relates to yourself?
Um, I've been just finding it. I'm always amazed, like how nature is doing this thing, but then just always remembering that because we're connected to it, So I like sometimes, like in life, we go through things that are challenging or they seem overwhelming or they're traumas. And I just feel like it's important that we remember to utilize tools to help us pull us out of things that may seem like, just traumatic or disappointing, because I feel like those tools help us to better, as we utilize them more, whether it's meditation or, any type of kind act for yourself to help you grow. I feel like it helps me to realize, at least, that everything in nature sometimes gets a little bit chaotic. But it doesn't mean you, as a human being, it doesn't mean that we stay stuck in that. We have to find things to grab a hold to pull us through every storm. And as we do that, we realize that, you know, um, I'm trying to find the proper words, but we realize that it's just a cycle of life and all things are changing and different things like that. So, yeah, I think this is really good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Need
Thank you.
some love, Sheila.
Yes. And listen, I'm gonna be holding on because we ain't got through these other months yet. so
I'm holding
so
tight,
when
girl. I'm putting on my
okay,
suit.
right? Okay, because it does get chaotic, right? Like,
Yes.
life gets chaotic, and it does. And sometimes we don't know, like, why is this a weird day? It's in the air. But
Yeah.
may not always necessarily be nothing that you did or that somebody else did. It's just it's in the air, and it's the nature of things. So thank you for saying that. Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything to add to this forecast of call to great overcoming, to taking dominion over your, self-control and wisdom, and then at the end, like how you use your own light, and then, balancing everything to give birth to new life?
I really like how this is laid out.
Thank you.
It gives you a map.
Hmm. Yes. And that honestly, Tamika, thank you so much. That's what it was intended to do. In simple words, this is what happens during this time. And then kind of like, right, mapping out, like, where is this at? This is why this is happening. And now I'm gonna hold on and use my wisdom and self-control and not get out of control, because when them fruits is trying to grow, it'd be like, let me get off now. No, hold on. I still got a few more things to do before you're ready to eat.
I feel that most of us can understand this as we mature. When we're younger, I can say for myself, I was very spiritually inclined from a very early age. However, the illusion of the 3D world gave me perspectives that were superficial. And as I get
Hmm.
older, I want to dig deeper into my soulfulness.
Mm, yes.
So this is helpful.
Thank you. And right. Yes. And I'm gonna real and you know what I'm actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be really, really astute, particularly with this frame. And I know what I'm supposed to give birth to. The divine plan may have something else in store that comes through, but we're gonna see what happens. And I'll just say that by the time we reach summer, because I'll do this again when we reach the summer solstice. I want to be, and I'm going to write this down. I won't forget to tell you what came forth on my tree by the time from now till summer. And, I'm dedicating my time and my life to stay in, alignment with this path from now to the summertime. So thank you. Is anyone, if you have something to say, Ray?
Yeah, I did want to something. And
What
then
you gonna say?
Tamika said it. She said it gives you a map, and I was thinking in that aspect as well that it's just a process. It's a process you go through. You start in the beginning, but uh, in the beginning of spring, then you come to the middle of spring, and then you come to the end of spring. So, you can look at it as a threefold. It's a threefold process that's of a fourth, but there's a fourth involved with it. And that fourth process, I would like to say, would be us. We being conscious of this, the whole balance factor of it, putting our attention into this. And, I'm going to speak for an example. Uh, Last year, well, Delisha always had this book, and we always read it. Ever since we've been together, we read this book together, and we talked about a lot of the seasons, and did we skipped around with it, and last year we skipped around with it, and then this year we enacted it. We're going through it. It's like this year, this past year, this coming up, we're going through it, and I do see the change, and I always did because I was in tune. I like to get out of nature and things, but it it kind of lines you up with a whole nother with the cosmic cycle of things.
Yes.
You know that we're in a big spinning bowl of soup, spinning around other things. The great central sun. All that is spinning around that, and then that's spinning around something else. So we getting energy from somewhere, and it's nice to contemplate the mechanism of aligning with it and
Yeah.
and doing it, because I've been meaning to do this. I'm gonna bring it up. I don't know too much about it. Peace, everyone. Okay, Sheila's going.
I see you.
All right,
Bye, Sheila. I'll see you. I'll call you.
yeah. Okay, I kind of lost that chain of thought. Well, I guess it wasn't enough for me to say. That's
I don't know.
that's
Well, I only got a couple more slides to go. So the next slide um, is really just some things to consider doing just to begin your spring season with a ritual, whether you're spring cleaning your house or creating a sacred space, taking a ritual bath, doing a meditation. I mean, there's no limit to what you could do, but I also have found that uh, doing some type of intentional work, towards where you want to be, how you want to feel, what you're trying to create, doing this, I think it really kind of ignites the way and you stay with it versus just kind of like going through days like they don't matter. And I'll just say, like, for us, even getting to this point, had it not been for our status with being laid off from our jobs, I don't think we would have been able to, and we would have stayed with it the way that we have,
yeah.
truthfully. And I really feel that that was a real big part of it. And that's why it never really stuck. And that's why we were always finding ourselves back and forth. But this season was great. And I'm like I said, I'm really kind of making this like a lifelong path of following. And, I hope that you'll consider on Saturday or Sunday, even if it's just taking a bath with some flowers in it or some beautiful essential oils and just, you know, starting a new beginning and moving forward into new life. And this is the last slide is next.
So, and we gonna do something on that day, is that?
Yeah, the last slide. Yeah, the last slide is a little interactive. It's just a 5-minute process. And this is, the last slide. So Marilyn, this is not a video. If anyone that's anyone gonna be talking, but this is the sound of springs water. And I just want to listen for like 5 minutes, even though it says 10 minutes on the video, but we're not gonna listen 10 minutes. for 5 minutes. And if you have a pen and paper handy, great. If you just want to just listen to the sounds.
My daughter today, and it's 65 degrees in Spokane, and her and the boys were out hiking, and she's taken up hiking and going into the woods and doing it a lot more often. So as I was listening to the music, I was thinking about my trip up there in July and how we're going to be out in nature, and we just will we are fortunate enough to have friends that have property that is outside of the city, and we sit and we just enjoy each other's company, don't have to talk. We can make a fireplace. Maybe I'll make some s'mores with the boys. It just, the sound brought up all the wonderful times I've had up there. And I lived there for 10 years, and it was absolutely magnificent. And I really appreciate the fact that I can go up there now. It's been almost 2 years. So the water was just a reminder of first time I ever did crawdad fishing.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and the time I took my grandson to be with our friends, and he was fishing, and he caught, I think, 18 fish. They put them all back, but he was all of 7, and he was excited because he caught more fish than anybody else. So it brought back a really lovely, wonderful set of memories, not just one. So that's what it did for me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That took you way back.
Yeah.
It took you way back. Tamika, are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking about all this medical stuff and vaccine, all this kind of stuff, and I was thinking, that I just got this new insurance, Obamacare insurance, and I have to choose doctors and stuff. And I was thinking, I'm also in some support groups on Facebook, and I found myself people asking questions, and I give my idea and I counsel them to kind of catalyze them to think a different way. And I was thinking to myself, and this is how I should choose anyone that I deal with, whether it be a therapist or whether it be a doctor or acupuncturist or just anybody on any level, even a teacher, a program, even a doctor, if they relate to me as a victim of my circumstance versus a door of possibility, then that is a telltale sign right there to jump ship and go somewhere else. And I thought, yeah, and I'm able to pull from being a creator and harness that into, okay, how does that look like on the court of my life? Instead of being in the bleachers, how can I get on the court and dribble that ball and make that goal?
I like that.
Well, yeah.
That was a gush.
I was a swish. Wow, yeah.
Now that's powerful. Really, it is. Like it was for me, it was very clearing immediately. And I started writing, but I was going to say, but yeah, it really just kind of really cleared me. And when I listened to that, I really felt that was a good one to clear and bring clarity. So yes, so I just wanted to just kind of go there for a prompt, and yeah, so Ray, so now you can go into your meditation.
Dave, I don't know if you heard the instructions in the beginning of the meditation.
Yeah, I did actually. I just caught the last part of it, and I figured I saw it, and I was like, oh, they're doing a meditation. So it just kind of reminded me like I should go hiking more or something. Just get out in nature and just get away from all the concrete and the you know, all the traffic lights and car alarms and all that stuff.
Yes.
You know, just take a nice little vacation. I'll give my body a break.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. It definitely clears you to, like, I know it seemed like it just kind of clears you and like forces your mind to focus on something, and then there's clarity.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I felt too.
Yeah, I actually gave a friend of mine had her birthday, and she's a very highly evolved, spiritual, loving person. And I gave her one of those water. It looks like a little forest cabinet water, and has the water. You know
It's a
those things.
waterfall. Little
It's a
waterfall.
waterfall. Yeah, it goes round. It's really cute. And that was the present I just gave her last week.
Wow.
I like that sound.
Yeah.
It's very comforting to have it in my house, to have it near me when I'm trying to rest or meditate. I like that sound.
Yes. Um, you know, and I'll just briefly, since this is what I wrote, I'll just quickly just read what I wrote, and then Ray, you can do your meditation. Um, what came was, I want you to immerse yourself in the new waters of life. You've been cleared of the old dross and the old narrative. Leave it behind and remember it only to free another soul who is seeking to let go of what's held them back. Anytime you feel the old way, the old hurt and discouragement arise, come back to listen to these waters and they will be washed away in the moment of time.
I say.
And so that was like
That's
what started coming through.
that was very poetic. So, you know, I had to say read it again though.
Okay, I'll read it again. It says what came through was, I want you to immerse yourself into the new waters of life. You've been cleared of the old dross and the old narrative. Leave it behind and only remember it to free another soul seeking to let go of what's held them back. Anytime you feel the old way, the old hurt and discouragement arise, come back to listen to these waters and they will be washed away in the moment of time.
I see.
So that's the message I got from, you know, in the moment. And I do feel clear. And, you know, I do want to remember that, because I know discouragement and old narratives and stuff will creep back up. And, you know, and hey, I'm just going to water it out. So thank
Flush
you
it
for,
out.
yeah, flush it out. Flush it out, because it is going to show up again until all of these new things take root properly, you know, and continuing the process. You know, there's got to be a way to know how to hold on without letting go and putting things to the wayside. And so I just, you know, I thank you guys for being here and, you know, for listening to this nature presentation, and pray that, you know, you have a beautiful spring and do a new thing. Just do something new. Just start from here. That's how I feel. Just take it to the next level. Continue. And so without further ado, Ray, I'm ready for you now.
And also, and adding what Delisa just saying, you know, I want to thank y'all for lasting one full year with us.
Right.
This is an anniversary. This is we've been doing this for a whole year, and went through a whole lot and learned a whole lot. You know, and as I look back and I look through the library of the recordings we done, we really set a standard for information that people can use all across all of, you know, all in all walks of life. You know, because we talked about everything. We talked about everything. We went everywhere. Quantum physics and nature to sign language. we
Right.
went everywhere. And
Finances.
I'm a ring our bell for our year anniversary, and
Yes.
I'm so honored and pleased that I have you here with us.
Yes. Thank
you,
you.
baby, for hanging there with me for a year. You know? I know I can do. I get my own ways and stuff. And I get bullheaded, But I'm a cuddle bear, for her love, I really do. I love you, and thanks everyone for being here with us.
Thank you.
And this is the support is so great. Feels so great.
Yes, it does. Really.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
with the flash that I had during the water meditation, yes, it said do the 3 count meditation and do the transcendental meditation. Do it now. Go ahead, do it now. Do it like now.
Okay.
Now. So without further ado, I want to let me see. I want to make it very. It's in my heart and my soul, and my end is leading me to do it like this in an interactive, fun way. So bear with me, because I'm going to actually do some crazy things. Okay, just bear with me, and you will get experience. All right. So sit up straight with your hands up on your lap. Okay. Breathe in through your nose, slowly and deeply. And when you breathe in through your nose, just breathe in divine love and light, however you want to term it, whatever you want to breathe in that power. And you're gonna hold it for a little minute. I may hold it. I may do it longer than you, but I'm giving you the information because I want you to do this as a 3 rhythm process.
Mhm.
Okay, so you're gonna breathe in through your nose slowly and deeply, and you're gonna, go as far as you can. Breathe it in, and then you're gonna hold it for a while. And while you're holding it, symbolically see yourself being filled with light, just golden light, golden healing light of Raphael. When you breathe in that golden healing light of Raphael, you hold it and you charge your body with it, and then you exhale through your mouth. And you push it all out. You push your stomach in as far as you can. You may fart or you may belch or whatever. You push it all the way out. And when you get it, push it all the way out, you can't push it up no more. You hold it and just feel that 0 point energy of that infinite power everywhere. Hold it for a couple of seconds, and then you inhale slowly and deeply. Again, do that same process. That's once you do that 3 times. I just wanted to make sure you get it like that. You breathe in slowly and deeply. You charge that energy that you breathe in. You exhale it out. And while you're pushing your stomach all the way in, right? And then as you exhale and you releasing all the pain and suffering and tension in your body, you may just melt in your chair for a minute. Just go ahead and melt in your chair when you push it all out. But then when you inhale with that tight stomach, you inhale slowly and deeply, and you feel that energy up again and let it charge. And you're going to start that second breath, you're going to feel that charge coming in. Just keep on breathing. If you breathe in, it can be long breath or short breath. However you do it. But the process is this: that second breath, that energy going to come within you. You're going to hold it and let that energy go throughout your body. And then you exhale. 3 times. Okay.
All right.
Now, we're going to do this simultaneously. I just told you the exercise. And we're going to do this 3 times. And in the third breath, we're going to keep our eyes closed. And we're just going to breathe normal. And then I'm going to lead us into this next meditation. Okay. So we're going to start it now. You're going to breathe in through your nose, slow and deeply. You hold it. Exhale through your mouth. Hold that. Feel that infinite power. Then you inhale through your nose slowly and deeply. Feel that power surge. You hold it. Charging the power. Exhale out through your mouth. Hold it. Inhale again. Hold it. Exhale. Bring your hands forward in prayer formation. Breathe normal with your eyes closed. Take a couple of breaths and set into that state that you just arrived at. Now, I want you to imagine yourself where you are at now. Just come from a different perspective outside your body and see yourself sitting where you're sitting. Just observe that. Breathe into it when you see it. If you have the awareness of you're above yourself and seeing yourself, but you're still inside your body, but you see yourself from a different perspective. Look at that. And I want you to hold that image. And from that image is directly in front of you. Turn to the right. Make a right projective turn in your mind's eye, in your inner self. Just turn to the right. And I want you to see a blank canvas. Get still aware of yourself sitting there in this same hand prayer formation. But now to the right, there's a blank canvas. And I want you to observe yourself when you were younger, at a happier age, doing something that you used to love to do. See yourself doing that. Good possibility when you do see that, you're going to get chills of love. Lock on into that. See yourself enjoying that. See that picture in front of you. And it's to the right of you. Although it is in front of you, is a picture of yourself now. And now to the right of you is the picture of yourself as a kid enjoying something that you still love to do. Breathe into that. As we build, we have a screen before us of ourselves sitting presently, and we have a vision of ourselves to the right of us as a kid enjoying fun and play. Then all of a sudden, another right hand turn, you're directly behind you, directly from the first 180 degrees from one point to the next. And see yourself as an older person, older than where you are now. And see yourself as a vibrant, older person. Whatever thoughts the older person you thought you maybe would be at, this older person is It's very brighter. Things is not the way how you would have thought it was. It's better. You see yourself doing things that you would like to do at a nice, ripe age and still having the ability to do that. Wherever you're doing, inside your house, walking down the street at this ripe old age, feel the energy of that same youth that you see having fun. You may make another right turn. Now you are 3 steps from your 4th step to back to center, back to your front. So now to your left side from the front distance, there's another blank canvas. And in this blank canvas, you see all 3 of those aspects that you just created. And you see a 55-foot tall being of bright, beautiful light, looking down upon those 3 aspects of you. However you envision this being looking down on the 3 aspects of you, that's how it is. But all of a sudden, this being raises up his hand, his right hand, and gold light comes out to it and surrounds all 3 of those aspects of you. And as this energy is being charged on all 3 aspects of you, you come to awareness that that big 55-foot being is you. Looking back from not time, but just from beingness, cosmic beingness, and sending you love, energy, healing, energy for the ability to grow, to develop, to create new things for all. It's a better life. Feel that gold light surrounding you, charging you. And all 3 of those aspects of you self seem to merge into one another. And you place them inside your heart. This is on the first screen when you see yourself outside of yourself. And those other 2 screens of you, younger and the older, and the giant being sending energy, place them all inside your heart. Right now in the present. As of you coming back inside your body, you're bringing all that inside of you, inside your heart. And this is starting a feedback cycle, a self-generating healing, primordial love and expansion, wisdom, all that you need to live a productive and longevity and beautiful, balanced, abundant life is inside you, and you just activated it. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Feel your heart burn, surge, come forth, because of the energy is recirculating right back to you. Because it's you. Okay, as we come out of this meditation is continuously going. There's no coming out of this meditation. All you're doing now is just opening your eyes to the reality of the present. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Any insights?
Wow, Brother Ray, that was powerful. That was a blessing. Woo!
It really was meant to be that. I am humble.
Peaceful, delicious, yummy. Feels like a hug from the inside out.
Ooh, I love it. That you said it. You hug from the inside out. Yeah, I love it. That's it. That's exactly what that is. That is the hug from the inside out meditation, coined by Merlin.
Got a name now.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. I just traveled. I went through all those phases and then I kept traveling.
The meditation doesn't stop. You just opening your eyes to the present.
Mm-hmm.
It's constantly going now.
Yeah.
Well, all life
Your
is
life-
meditation.
Your life is a prayer and meditation. Yeah, Tamika.
Yeah. Yes.
What did you say, Tamika? Somebody that's tried to say something.
Similar to what Marilyn said, that all life is meditation.
All I do.
Yes.
I was saying, Tamika said it, and I just said that our lives are a prayer and a meditation. That's
That's what that was.
Yes.
that's the most magnificent thing we can do and be and understand. Everything else is just part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think now I understand why my higher self do the meditation. It said, this is real. What you doing right now? You know, yeah, we're seeing each other in real time through this camera, but we're looking at an old film or old recording of something. Yeah, we getting it, but I need for you to make them get it. You know, and I think it was needed for me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say I'm not saying anything. I just followed my heart on that.
Mm-hmm.
Same time.
Great.
It was the same kind of intuition that propelled me to start doing the reset in the community of LA. It felt like that. That's why I stopped the meditation. I wouldn't stop the meditation.
The water was beautiful, though. I love that video.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my dearest, I need to go rest.
Yes.
I
Thank you
thank
for
you
being
from
here.
the bottom, the top, the back, and the forth of my heart and soul.
But that was our
I love
last
that.
slide, baby.
That's it.
That was the last slide.
No, this says wishing you a wonderful spring season. You know.
We got to put that on there now. Wishing you a wonderful spring season. And also, this is the beginning of the year. And let me say this now. Yes, this is my time of the season. This is the time I was born. So I need to just burst forward with all this loving and inspiration energy that I cultivated this winter. But I'm going to be very resourceful at that. You know, I'm going to be self-generating. I'll put it back in myself, but I'm very excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Your time.
This process was great. You know, and I think we just started. Okay. We started in the last equinox, right? That's last year. I'm just calculating from last year around August. I think a year before that is when we started saying, let's go ahead and do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, we kept saying it, and yeah, between this work thing, we got it in.
Got it in.
Bye, Marilyn. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you. Bless you.
See you
Thank
guys
you, everyone.
next Thursday.
You.
See
I
you.
have to cut up because I haven't been here the whole year.
Yeah. Well, you know, Tamika, you know, have you ever checked out the YouTube page?
What YouTube page?
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you. I have a YouTube page that I got all the videos that we had not all the ones, because some of them I didn't record. They weren't recorded, but we have a bunch of them now.
Yeah.
We have a
Got a
lot of them.
collection.
You know, it kind of like it made me really sit back and say, yeah, I'm doing it. You know, yeah, we're doing it, and I won't be able to do it without her, without Alicia. And I know, and I know she's a big part of it. And she looked back at me and said, "I'm a big part of it." But it's kind of wild that it's been a year.
And here we are.
Yeah, and we have many videos talking about all kind of things, everything from astrology to self meditations, self healing practices. Uh, Quantum physics. Yeah, everything. Yeah. So I'm gonna send you the link to Connecting the Dots Conscious community, and also I have a playlist along with Connecting the Dots Conscious community for drum healing music that me and Dave, he's one of
Yeah. Get some drumming.
drum healers. We have many videos that they're just like spot recorded, we recorded, like, let's get this in, and we're feeling good. We want to share this with the people. You know, just it's all healing music. We're kind of was listening to it through the beginning of the broadcast a little bit. If you heard it in the background, so I can send you those links, and you can check them out. Leave comment, like and subscribe to it. You know, and if you find any videos that's kind of relevant, share it to somebody. You know, I'm trying to get the algorithm up. Yeah, I never thought I'd be saying that like that.
Hit like.
Yeah, I never. When we started doing this, it wasn't for to get likes on YouTube. Really, it wasn't. And now that I see that maybe that the likes are good, so people can see what's going on, right? And because it was just basically for me and for ourselves and a couple people that wanted to talk about what was going on and stay in contact, because I knew that this was something strategic, cut people off from social action interaction through a virus, because this is a time that we need to be together. This is the age of Aquarius. It's coming together. Of course, the government don't want us to be apart, separate. So they got to give something to keep us apart. But we are powerful together. We're social beings. So in essence, what they say in social distance, they're humanly killing you. Biologically killing you by saying social distance. I like to say just being physical distance. Enough of that rant, but thanks. This has been a year. And Delisha, please.
I just thank you guys for being here, and
I'm gonna say Moon Goddess Delisha. She closes up. Moon Goddess.
All I know is that I just really wish you guys a beautiful spring. I know we'll see each other, just like I said, it's a new beginning, new season. Just look at it as an opportunity, whether you want to align with the season or not, just a reset and taking things to the next level. And thank you for being here and listening to one of the things I'm passionate about. And so you'll hear from me again around the summer solstice time. Thank you.
Great. I love this kind of thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And I was going to say in the summer, we'll do something. We're going to go a little deeper with that one, like some candles.